Across Africa, Europe, North America, and the Middle East, Somali communities often arrive with almost nothing. No inherited wealth, limited connections, new languages, new systems. And yet, within a single generation, many establish businesses, support extended families, and build economic stability. This pattern repeats itself across countries and continents. This isn't coincidence, it isn't hype, and it didn't begin in modern times. To understand Somali success today, you have to look far into the past. For centuries, Somalis lived in one of the most strategically important regions in the world, the Horn of Africa. This region connected Africa to the Middle East, South Asia, and global trade routes long before globalization existed. Somali merchants were active participants in trade across oceans and deserts, dealing with different cultures, currencies, and systems. Trade changes how people think. It teaches negotiation, patience, and risk assessment. It rewards those who can adapt quickly and read situations accurately. Over generations, these skills became deeply embedded in Somali culture, passed down through observation and experience rather than formal education. At the same time, the environment itself shaped behavior. Much of the land was dry and unpredictable. Rainfall could not be relied upon. Survival depended on movement, timing, and cooperation. People learned that waiting for perfect conditions was dangerous. Action mattered more than comfort. This produced a mindset focused on initiative. If resources were scarce, people moved. If conditions shifted, plans changed. Flexibility wasn't a preference. It was necessary. Family and community became central to survival. Somali society developed strong trust-based systems long before modern institutions existed. Reputation mattered. Your word mattered. Support networks functioned as safety nets when formal systems were absent or unreliable. These systems allowed people to pool resources, share risk, and recover quickly from setbacks. Losses were absorbed collectively. Success was shared. This strengthened resilience at both individual and community levels. As history progressed, Somalis experienced colonization, political instability, and economic disruption. But uncertainty was not new. Reinvention was already familiar. The skills required to survive modern disruption had been practiced for centuries. Then came one of the most defining moments in Somali history: migration. Large numbers of Somalis were forced to rebuild their lives in entirely new countries. Everything was unfamiliar. The language, the rules, the expectations. Many arrived with little more than experience, discipline, and determination. Starting from zero changes how people think. When survival is already familiar, fear loses its power. Failure stops being final. It becomes temporary. Effort increases. Risk becomes acceptable. What appeared as disadvantage from the outside often became motivation from within. And this is where the modern story continues. As Somali communities settled across the world, something consistent began to appear. Despite differences in language, laws, and culture, similar patterns of adaptation and progress emerged. Many Somalis entered industries that rewarded effort, flexibility, and persistence. These were not always glamorous sectors, but they were practical ones. Transportation, retail, food services, logistics, real estate, and eventually technology and media. These industries share a common trait. They reward people who are willing to start small, work long hours, and learn quickly. For many Somalis, this felt familiar. It reflected strategies their communities had relied on for generations: taking initiative, minimizing risk at the beginning, and expanding only when stability was achieved. Entrepreneurship often begins modestly. A single storefront, one vehicle, one service offered to a local neighborhood. But growth is intentional. Earnings are reinvested. Equipment is upgraded. Family members are brought in, trained, and supported. Over time, one business becomes several. What starts as survival slowly turns into stability and eventually into opportunity. A key factor behind this growth is the way knowledge is shared. Somali communities often pass information quickly: how to register a business, how to avoid common mistakes, how to negotiate leases, how to manage cash flow. Experience is treated as a collective resource. One person's success reduces risk for the next. Education plays a crucial role alongside entrepreneurship. In many Somali households, learning is deeply respected. Parents encourage discipline, self-improvement, and long-term thinking. Children are taught that education opens doors, but it is not the only door. Practical skills, work ethic, and initiative are valued just as highly. This balance produces resilience. One family member may pursue a professional career, while another builds a business. One path provides stability, the other provides growth. Together, they create economic security. Success is not concentrated in one individual. It is distributed across the family and community. Another defining characteristic is adaptability. Many Somalis do not wait for perfect conditions or full acceptance. They build parallel systems when necessary. If access to capital is limited, they rely on family pooling. If traditional paths are blocked, alternative routes are created. This approach is not about rejection of systems, but about flexibility within them. This mindset comes from lived experience. When instability is familiar, change becomes manageable. When rebuilding has already happened once, doing it again feels possible. Resilience becomes a practical skill. The ability to adjust plans, shift strategies, and continue forward. It is important to acknowledge that this journey is not easy. Many Somali families face significant challenges: discrimination, language barriers, financial pressure, and the emotional weight of displacement. Progress often requires long hours, personal sacrifice, and delayed rewards. But what stands out is persistence. Setbacks are treated as lessons rather than endings. Businesses reopen after failure. Careers restart after interruption. Momentum continues even when conditions are difficult. Over time, these small, consistent efforts compound. Businesses stabilize. Children grow up with access to education and opportunity. Communities strengthen their economic base. What once looked like survival slowly becomes sustainability. So why are Somalis so successful? Not because of a single trait, not because of luck, not because the path was easy. It is the result of history meeting opportunity, of culture reinforcing discipline, of community amplifying effort, of adaptability turning uncertainty into forward motion. What we see today is not sudden success. It is the visible outcome of generations who learned how to move, rebuild, and persist. And wherever Somalis build a future, that knowledge travels with them.